Students, in this part of video, I will explain you about the structure of judiciary and how people get the justice. And in last, I will explain you about PIL, Public Interest Litigation. So, let's start with Supreme Court. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of India is the highest judicial authority in our country. At the top, there is only the Supreme Court in the judiciary system of India. The Supreme Court of India is the highest judicial authority in our country. It is located in New Delhi and it is presided over by the Chief Justice of India. The decisions made by the Supreme Court is binding on all other courts in India. The different levels of court are connected to each other. In India, we have an integrated judicial system. The decisions made by the higher courts are binding on the lower courts. Another way to understand this integration is through the appellate system, which I have previously explained you in my part 1 video. The appellate system exists in India. This means that the person can appeal to the higher court if believed that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just. Now we will understand about the composition of Supreme Court. As we know that the Supreme Court is the highest court, it is the final court of appeal. However, a person sentenced by the Supreme Court may appeal to the President for mercy. The Supreme Court is headed by the Chief Justice, who is appointed by the President in consultation with the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. At present, the Supreme Court has 30 other judges who are appointed by the President in the consultations with the Chief Justice. To become a judge of Supreme Court, a person must be an Indian citizen and have 10 years of experience as an advocate of a High Court, or 5 years of experience of a judge of a High Court, or be a distinguished jurist, expert law. Unless impeached, a judge of the Supreme Court serves till the age of 65. What I said? Unless impeached, a judge of the Supreme Court serves till the age of 65. Now we will discuss about the powers of the Supreme Court. What are the powers of the Supreme Court? There are some powers which we will be discussed. First is original jurisdiction. What is original jurisdiction? Under this, Supreme Court can hear some cases which come directly to it. The Supreme Court can settle dispute between Government of India and one or more states. Dispute between two states. Dispute between the Government of India and any state, or state on one side and one or more state on the other side. Enforcement of fundamental rights. It is empowered to issue order to enforce them. Next is appellate jurisdiction. It can hear appeals against the judgment of the High Courts in both civil and criminal cases. Next, advisory jurisdictions. Under this, if at any times of appears to the President that a question of a law or fact has arisen or is likely to arise, he may refer to the question to the court for consideration, and after such hearing, court can give its opinion to the President. After that, Court of Records. All the judgment of the Supreme Court are kept as records and quoted by lawyers while pleading similar cases in courts. So it was about the Court of Record. Now last power of the Supreme Court is here given, that is judicial review. What is judicial review? The Supreme Court is the final interpreter of Constitution. It has the right to declare any law as null and void if it violated the basic structure of the Constitution. So students, this was about the powers of Supreme Court. Now next we will discuss about the High Court. The High Court is the highest court of the state. There are 25 high courts in India. The number of total judges sanctioned in these high courts are 1079, of which 771 judges are permanent and remaining 308 sanctioned for additional judges. Some of these have jurisdictions over more than one state, like Punjab and Haryana Court, Chandigarh, the High Court at the Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and the Guwahati High Court serves for Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. The Bombay High Court serves Maharashtra, Goa, Daman and Diu and Dadar and Nagar Haveli. The Calcutta High Court has jurisdiction over West Bengal and the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands. And the Madras High Court has jurisdiction over the Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. And the Kerala High Court has jurisdiction over Lakshadweep in addition to Kerala. Now it's time to understand the composition of the High Court. A High Court is headed by a Chief Justice who is appointed by the President in consultations with the Chief Justice of India and the Governor of the state. The other judges of the High Courts are appointed by the President in consultations with the Chief Justice of India. The Chief Justice of High Court concerned and the Governor of the state. To be a judge of a High Court, a person must be a citizen of India and have 10 years of experience as an advocate of High Court. A High Court judge normally serves till the age of 62. Now let's understand about the powers of the High Court. A High Court has original jurisdictions in the disputes related to the election in the states. It also has original jurisdictions in cases related to the violation of the fundamental rights. In other words, a case related to the fundamental rights is filed directly in a High Court rather than going up in appeal from a subordinate court. However, such case may also be filed directly in the Supreme Court. Cases both civil and criminal other than those related to the election and the fundamental rights are first filed in the subordinate courts. The High Court has appellate jurisdictions over all such cases filed in courts under it. A High Court has supervisory jurisdictions over the courts under it, and a High Court is also a court of record. So student, this was about the High Court. Now in this series, last is the subordinate court. Each state is divided into districts. The highest civil court in a district is the district court, presided over by the district judge. Below the district court is the court of the civil judge and the court of the civil judge senior and court of the civil judge junior. Now every district is also having a session court. That is also called the highest criminal code in a district. So a session court is the highest criminal code in the district. This is presided over by the session judge, who is the same as the district judge. Hence he or she is also known as the district and the session judge. Below the session court are the courts of the Chief Judicial Magistrate (CJM), the first class judicial magistrate and the second class judicial magistrate. In that order, appeals go from the lower to the higher courts. For example, a criminal case is usually filed in a judicial magistrate court, from which it goes to the session court, and so on. Judges of the subordinate courts are drawn from the state judicial services. Each state has its own rules and examination for these services. Now our next topic is access to the court. means justice for all. Students, every citizen of India has a right to justice to the courts. The courts play a very significant role in protecting our fundamental rights. While the courts are available for all, in reality, access to court has always been difficult for a vast majority of the poor in India. Legal procedure involve a lot of money and paperwork also take up a lot of time. For a poor person who cannot read and write and whose family depends on a daily wages, often avoid the ideal of going to the court to get justice. So, the way a case is decided often depends on the way it is presented before a court, which again depends on the kinds of counsel, lawyer one has. Not everyone can pay for a competent lawyer. Like poor and illiterate people are often not aware of their rights or the remedies available to them. So, some steps have been taken to make justice more accessible to all and to speed up legal proceeding. Lok Adalat and public interest litigation are among these. Now let's understand about the Lok Adalat. What is Lok Adalat? Lok Adalat is a system which means people courts. Lok Adalat have been set up in accordance with an act of parliament to provide speedy justice. A Lok Adalat is headed by a retired judge who is usually helped by a lawyer and social worker. People wishing to settle a dispute through a Lok Adalat do not have to pay a court fee. The Lok Adalat can deal with all civil cases, matrimonial disputes, land disputes, property disputes, labor disputes, and so on. The court settle disputes on the basis of mutual understanding and compromise. The disputing parties have to accept the decision of the court and cannot appeal to a higher court. They can file a fresh case in another if they wish. So the focus in the Lok Adalat is on compromise. When no compromise is reached, the matter goes to the court. However, if a compromise is reached and a verdict is made and is binding on the parties. An important aspect is that a verdict is final and cannot be appealed, as it is a judgment by consent. All proceedings of a Lok Adalat are assumed to be judicial proceedings and every Lok Adalat is equivalent to a civil court. Now, our next and last topic is public interest litigation, PIL. Student, in the early 1980s, the Supreme Court devised a mechanism of public interest litigation to increase access to justice. It allowed any individual or organization to file a PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court on the behalf of those whose rights have been violated. It means that the Supreme Court realized this problem of the poor and infirm. This allows any individual or organization to file a case in the High Court or even directly into the Supreme Court. The provision of PIL specifies that it is not to safeguarding the interest of any one person, but as the name suggests, has to be for a group of people. The PIL is even acceptable in the form of a letter or a telegram so that the people in distant and remote areas also get a hearing at a fast pace. A large number of issues have got resolved through the system of PIL. Now, let's see the cases where PIL were used. For rescuing bonded laborers from inhuman work conditions and PIL used for securing the release of prisoners in Bihar who had been kept in jail even after their punishment complete. And PIL also were used for providing midday meals in government and the government aided school. Students, for the common person, access to the court is access to the justice. The court exercises a crucial role in interpreting the fundamental rights of citizen, and as you saw in the above case, the courts interpreted Article 21 of the Constitution on the rights to life to include right to food. They therefore ordered the state to take certain steps to provide food for all, including the midday meal scheme. Students, another issue that affects the common person's access to justice is the excessively long time that courts take to hear a case. The extended time period taken by courts to decide cases has given weightage to the phrase justice delay is justice denied. Nonetheless, there is no denying that the judiciary has played a crucial role in democratic India. It serves as check on the power of the executive and the legislature and protects the fundamental rights of the citizen. The members of the Constituent Assembly had aptly envisioned a system of court with an independent judicial as a key features of our democracy. So students, this was our chapter Judiciary. I hope you all have understood. So now it's time to say bye.